और निखिल आपका स्टॉक सिलेक्शन मैंने देखा है, जो आप स्टॉकेज क्लब पे रिकमेंड करते हो, ठीक है, वो भी मैंने देखा है, फॉलो किया है, एंड आई मस्ट टेल यू दैट यू आर डूइंग फिनोमिनल वर्क. सो निखिल, आप बताएं कि एक तो बजट, एक क्विक take on budget, how was the budget for you, right? And after that, if you want to go on stock specific or sector specific on your discussion, please do that. And I think you have a presentation, you can share your screen and use that to structure your thoughts.
Thank you, Vinith. Good afternoon to all. So as हर कोई जो वैल्यू इन्वेस्टर या लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टर एग्री करेगा कि लॉन्ग टर्म इन्वेस्टिंग में बजट का बहुत छोटा रोल है. एक शॉर्ट टर्म हमको देखने को मिलता है कि बजट की वजह से एक पॉजिटिव इन्फ्लुएंस या पॉजिटिव या नेगेटिव सेंटिमेंट्स आता है, बट अदरवाइज अर्निंग्स और नेटवर्थ ऑफ कंपनी ओनली dominate the market in the long term. That's what I also believe in. If I take a quick review on the budget, I think as you also said कि no bad news is good news. So वो तो हुआ ही है, and overall sentiments were great because of the personal taxes and custom duty taxes. And apart from that, I don't see a lot of big value addition into the long term journey. But yes, there have been some sectors which I would like to mention, and I have showed my screen to everyone. I think you are able to see it. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes, we can see your screen. Budget observations.
Okay.
You can make it full. Yeah.
Okay. So there were some expectations on basis on that I made this presentation, and I have written my remarks on those things. So one expectation was capex, and mostly in construction and infra. It's been 4 to 5 years जब construction infra में undervaluation देखने को मिल रहा है. We saw some triggers 1 or 2 years back, and we bought PSP, Engineering India, GE Power, and Indian Hume Pipes based on that. And we were expecting some great news, some good news from the minister. And I think she had mentioned a lot of projects, a lot of capex in this arena. And we also heard pipeline nulls, Har Ghar Nal, and power project mentions from her in her speech. One thing that I was not expecting, and she mentioned, was water and sewage treatment. They are working big on this one, mechanical sledging in all the septic tanks. So ये वाला जो है हमको देखना पड़ेगा. What are the people who are involved in this one? And one I was expecting Central Vista related to that. There has not been any discussion. Second thing I was expecting in pharma, but we didn't see any discussion on pharma industry. We didn't see any discussion on vaccine, Pfizer vaccine, and Indian relation to it. And but there have been some mentions of R&D related to these sectors. And from last 3-4 quarters, I am seeing promoter buying in the R&D sector, biotech sector also. So we'll have to see some opportunities if there are in those sectors. So third thing, I was expecting crop care. We have some companies, good companies like Release. There was a company called Godrej Agrovet also in my watch list. But we didn't see anything related to that, but they mentioned something about alternative fertilizers and promoting natural farming to more than 1 crore of farmers. So we'll have to see what are the players there, what is the actual detailed scheme of the government, and we will take action based on that. Right now in agriculture related, we only are bullish on Release because of the valuation. Of course, valuations are very, very good. 2-3 months back we bought it. We nearly hit the bottom. And so how I take budget as any announcement, like corporate announcement, regulator announcement, or budget announcement, all are same for me. So how I approach this in my investing journey is, if there is a mention of a sector and that sector have been very undervalued, I look into it. If the sector is already overvalued, already in trend, like railways, you can see like PSBs she talked about, and she could have talked about defense also, but she didn't. So I would just ignore all those. So undervalued sectors, if she's talking about, I will look into these. Some, it acts like a trigger, as I've mentioned. So some of those things she has mentioned is, and I have to go in deep to look how it will affect those companies, how those custom duties and those schemes will affect. Some sectors she has mentioned is sewage treatment. She talked about tourism. Tourism is fairly valued, not undervalued, but still there is a scope, I think. She also talked about shrimp feed businesses. She talked about agri-tech and the startups in this sector. And I was expecting something about telecom. I am holding some of the telecom companies, and but she did not mention about it. She did talk about 5G, but there was no talk about conservative telecom businesses. So I'll have to see what to do in that. And there was an expectation of finance sector, so she also talked about that. So we have been bullish on finance stocks. We have already talked about DCB Bank, Union Bank, L&T Financial Holdings, and overall sentiments of the tax is always decided by this capital gains and the personal tax, and that I think she gave a boost. So overall sentiments were high. But market has given a mixed reaction because there is a Fed thing also, I think, in evening, and Q3 earnings have also been reported. Their weak earnings they have reported. So I think because of these two reasons, there have been mixed reactions. But overall, as I said, there has been very few amount of effect of the budget on the long-term investing, and so we will just continue to do what we do anyway, with or without this budget.
For infrastructure right now, no names, no picks.
No picks is also good. So Nikhil, coming to you.
Yeah, so infra and construction, I think we have already shared 3 to 4 stocks. इसमें हमारा एक ESP था, and other was Engineering India and GE Power and Indian Hume Pipe. So they all are in different subsectors, I would say, but all related to infrastructure and construction.
So Nikhil, ये companies जो आपने बताई, ये mostly Engineering India is a large company. Mostly you like mid cap and small cap, right?
All cap, yes.
You don't look at large cap stocks?
We look at the large cap stocks when there is a margin of safety, but mostly times when large cap is giving you margin of safety, small cap is giving you margin of safety too. So mostly it coincides, and a lot of very few times it happens कि small cap is very overvalued and large cap is undervalued.
That's true. और देखिए small cap को evaluate करने का अपना एक तरीका है, अपनी एक science है. It needs bigger research. It needs a different kind of temperament to stay invested in small cap and small cap, definitely micro cap and small cap companies. A large amount of money can be made there, but it also carries a huge risk. So just to जो भी हमारी बात सुन रहे हैं, मैं उन्हें आगाह कर देना चाह रहा हूं कि large cap investing के अलग तौर तरीके हैं और स्मॉल कैप और माइक्रो कैप इन्वेस्टिंग के अलग रिस्क्स हैं, रिवॉर्ड्स भी अलग हैं.
Most
तो ये
important
समझ के
you should consider while going into a small cap is margin of safety. If you don't have margin of safety, you can get butchered very bad. I mean, your investment.
डेफिनेटली. तो मार्जिन ऑफ सेफ्टी पे हमारे गेस्ट जुड़े हुए थे. एक मिनट मैं उनसे क्विक कंक्लूसिव रिमार्क लेना चाहता हूं कि मार्केट के बारे में, आज के बजट के बारे में, and the times from here on, what are your takes? And if you want to mention any particular sector or any company for our users, most welcome. So we'll start with Nikhil.
As I said, budget or no budget, we will go about the market as we were going before. And मैं उसमें ऐड करूंगा कि election or no election, we will go in the market as before. So we are in the infrastructure construction. I will stay away from retail sector, FMCG and all. There are some companies which are in retail and consumer side, but they are in very niche and very undervalued companies, which we are bullish on in the consumer side. But apart from that, I don't see any growth in FMCG. Also, very overvalued for last 2-3 years, and I don't see at least 2-3-4 more years कि कुछ इसमें significant हम देख सकते हैं. And budget was overall good. And budget में तो sentiment ही देखा जाता है at the end, जो कि short term market को govern करता है. So which was good, but earning growths we have seen Q3 mostly are bad. That's why market was also given mixed reaction. So I'll just continue finding good opportunities, and there are three to four triggers I had already shared. In those sectors I will look further, and अगर कोई opportunity हमको दिखती है उन companies में, उन sectors में, we will go through them. Biotech sector, as I mentioned, and all those construction themes. And so that will be all for me. Thank you.
Wonderful. So